server burden.
I wonder how many of the casual games realize that this is Worlds going on.
I know. Well, they're like the episode 1 sealed. They're like, what are all these people doing? But, okay, so let me kick it off. So welcome, everyone. This is Jared Napolitano. We have Eric Hunter here. We are covering Game 3 of Pod 2 for the 2020 World Championships. This is online on GEMP. We are going to do a matchup between Justin Desai, who's playing Dark as Huntdown Virtual, against Joe Olson, who's playing, he is the Chosen One, as Light Side player. These are the two by far most popular decks, thanks to Ryan Surson. Gave me kind of an offhand estimate. It looks like over a third of each side are playing these decks today. So this is very popular, but it seems like these are just very strong decks, and these are two very strong players, obviously. So maybe Eric, you just want to, what do you think about this matchup?
I actually haven't seen, so I have not been playing very much or watching any games recently. I have no idea, actually. I feel like I've seen Huntdown do well against HITCO, but I don't know if that's just a matter of HITCO players figuring how to play against Huntdown.
Yeah.
Have you played this matchup?
Yeah, we did some of it. I had a feeling HITCO and Watcher Step would be really popular. Watcher Step has not been that popular today, relative. And I think this kind of, both these decks obviously are ground heavy. They want to fight on the ground. So neither of them can get an edge by having any type of space presence, really. I'm sure there's no systems in either of these decks. I'd be very surprised if there is, put it that way. So there's just definitely, it's going to be maybe similar to the old Huntdown, where they just duke it out over a couple battlegrounds, or like one or two battlegrounds the whole game. But Visage is less oppressive, Visage Virtual less oppressive, so it maybe makes the game a little less swingy, in that someone might top deck a key card, or people feel a little less pressure to rush a decision. But I mean, these Inquisitors are really strong. They had all the Destiny. You won't really often see evac control, and there's a lot of Destiny adders for Darkside here. So, I mean, Light. When I first saw the new Yoda and the helpers to He the Chosen One, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do like 2 Ahsoka, a Yoda, obviously, and maybe just do some like Jedi Presence and like Chewie Enraged, 2 Landos, and some pretty wild stuff with super powerful Rebels and Destiny adders like Gift of the Mentor, which I'm sure someone like you who played a lot, back in the day, sometimes I double take even still, like, oh wow, that's right, Gift works with Yoda and Luke too. So the Skywalkers with several powerful Leia personas, both these decks, one misstep and you're eating like 15 battle damage. So
yeah, I don't know if Huntdown can actually do that much overflow. It kind of needs, it's going to be relying on cards like You Are Beaten, the Destiny adder. I mean, maybe he'll play Tarkin. I don't see Huntdown drawing more than 2 Battle Destiny. Unless he also is playing like I Have You Now, which would be a fine choice with this much HITCO.
Right.
I think Huntdown's like path to victory is usually just through like attritioning its opponent. Drawing 2 Destiny, having total Battle Destiny of 10, causing like your opponent to forfeit a couple cards. And so I think not a good start for Justin, where he loses his blockade.
Right.
I think that means. I think that means it was in his force pile and probably at the bottom. Though he also may not be worried about Joe playing.
he just said tilt in the chat because he had that wild game before, which Baroni said no, he probably won't be tilted. It's just going to be like exhausting to play that type of thinking game and not trying to get back and focused. But yeah, it's an interesting thing because you want to get your sight out, but you also want to get Vader out pretty quickly so you're not eating your own Visage pings. So yeah, I've seen like a lot of alternative, security precautions, and then the bridge, and then like so Darkside's only playing like 2 battlegrounds really, even though the 2 Malachor sites are pullable and you can pull Carbonite Chamber. I think I was the only person. I tried that out. It's just a huge liability to have that 2/1. That or the Chasm Walkway is the same situation where it's a 2/1, but the opponent can drain it.
Yeah, going to Cloud City seemed like a bad way to build the deck.
Yeah. So it definitely it's interesting because the space. I mean, this goes up against like No Idea or Watch Your Step, um, would much more viable space decks. I think that might be the place to kind of exploit it, but um, you know, then you're losing your 4 strain bonuses if you're not contesting Vader or not having a Padawan or Jedi out. But yeah,
Yeah, both Hunt Down and HITCO do a very good job, I think, um, of forcing your opponent to come to them because with Hunt Down's ability to turn off the drain bonuses, if you're playing like it's an EVO or a Yops, which are like the premier space decks, they just won't be able to win the damage race.
Yeah.
And then similarly, HITCO with Twilight and Anakin and the Chasm just has the ability to do a lot of damage on the ground. So kind of if Dark wanted to go to space, they're not as comfortable winning that drain race as I think you would have prior to this Twilight V.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you play Hunt Down V against Watch Your Step?
I did, and actually I played just a normal open game. I think I was Watch Your Step, and I played against Justin's Hunt Down. It was pretty close. He eventually, I had Menace Fades on pretty quickly, but he eventually won a close game. And then I think I actually, in my testing, I played as Quiet. I might have been also against Justin. Yeah, I think it was. When I was playing as Quiet Mining Colony against Hunt Down V, he had the shuttle and a credible space package that was tough to kind of remove. It was just a lot of pressure because, they throw a guy, or they throw a ship at Bespin. Okay, now Menace Fades is off. Now Vader's draining for a 2-3 a turn if Ultimatum's in there, but if Ultimatum's there, then you're spreading thinner. And it just, I think, works a lot off pressure, and just having these super strong Inquisitors that really might even be fine just as they're hit and run. Like, they don't really have immunity except for, unless, was it Ninth Sister or Seventh Sister gives the immunity, but it's it's 4, but she subtracts 1 from attrition. So it's just, I think it works a lot off trying to force your opponent into mistakes, but also strong characters and big drains with these 2 locations, with defensive perimeter and with the Sith upper chamber entrance. Did I get that right? Or is it just upper chamber? But it definitely, with the HITCO too, then it definitely forces the dark, so Justin grabs Anakin V. It's interesting. I wonder if he's playing second grabber. That card is just so strong.
Is the so I've actually never played with the card. Is it the add 1 to attrition that he's afraid of, or is it the ability for him to move? So for those who are watching, he just used Anakin V to move Prophecy to the Endor site, which allows him to activate 1 more force because it's out of Battleground. So playing it during Justin's draw step gave him an extra force. But to finish my question, Jared, do you think that was to prevent him from moving Prophecy around and doing extra damage, or is it more to prevent the attrition? Because I can't imagine Hunt Down's playing any guys with ability less than 4.
It might. I think it'd probably be more so the attrition. So if HITCO will draw 1 high destiny and then another attrition, you're taking out 2 strong characters for dark. I don't think there's gonna be a ton of the ability 3 guys, maybe like a Tarkin. But yeah, I think it's more so the moving it around because I don't think Luke. I don't play HITCO enough. I don't know when you want to put. This is like a Chris Kelly question. When Luke is supposed to go to the Ewok village and when he goes elsewhere. Because obviously there's the benefit. If he goes to the village, the prophecy stays put, and he's always going to be then manipulating the Force generation because of Twilight, because it increases his and reduces the other. Or do you want to put Luke at one of these other sites where then you could maybe get like a drain of 4 even if you get prophecy there and stick it there, or like boomerang it back with the interrupt again. So why Justin might want to grab it. So it doesn't look like either of these players in this matchup are really going to be like ultimatum resistance type. So You get a couple of drains of 3 or 4 through, those could really be big.
Yeah, I'm wondering. So I was actually wondering if you play Luke here, because all Justin needs to do is play an Inquisitor, stack a hatred card, and he's going to draw 2 Destiny.
Yep.
And his total Destiny is going to be +2, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 16 card hand. I mean, he's probably got 5 Inquisitors in there. He's probably got 1 of each of the interrupts at least. The one that adds, and then also the one that evac. Okay. I mean, that other interrupt that I've been searching for you for some time, the one with the you cannot hide forever under. I mean, that's like non-retrieval retrieval. You're just throwing a card from your lost pile on somebody, and then you're cycling it back. So that's a tempting grab for. I wonder if that's a better grab for light side than some of the other things like a force field or whatnot. But I mean, it's getting to the point. I wonder. This would be a question for people that played a long time. I wonder if like towards the end of Legacy, where everybody was questioning, hey, do I need 3 grabbers in this deck? Do I need 2? There's just so many strong interrupts just over time. To keep up just with natural inherent power creep, you just got to keep beefing these things up.
Yeah, I'm not convinced Anakin was the right grab. Again, I haven't played this, so I don't have a good sense of how powerful it is. I feel like it's not as good in this matchup because it can't cancel game text.
Right.
On the other hand, if I'm the light side player, I think I probably want to grab the interrupt that adds a Destiny. Well, now that with the hatred card, but now that he has evac control, it's like a lot less important. And then the other card, I feel like is probably going to be Lana Dogri Sacrifice.
Yeah. Well, I also wonder too if we'll see more Ellis and Nabrin in this meta, just because these top decks like Watch Your Step, Quiet Mind Colony, HITCO, Hunt Down V, and who am I missing with the popular dark decks? But there's a lot less of the rest. Of course, ISB's still there and popular. That's probably the one of the top 5 most popular, I'd say. Legend doesn't play, Insurrection. But the counter thing is, Design just came out with that new Quite a Mercenary combo, which does cancel Ellis, so that maybe keeps it in check. Yeah, it seems like Lana combo is a very common grab for light side against ISB. I've seen that a lot, just because they can doom stack and then just move the whole crew.
Yeah, Lana's just an incredible card because it allows you to move your stuff around, but the ability to also prevent your character's forfeit from being reduced.
Right.
It's and I imagine Hunt Down. I think Hunt Down will be playing too.
Okay. Interesting. So it's like
interesting.
He's gonna do his thing.
So one of the cards I was worried about there, if I was Joe, and if I'm just so the Enter the Bureaucrat and Virgins both seem to be pretty popular right now.
Yeah, that was mentioned on the last stream. The thing about that is, so first, a lot of decks can get Ultimatum or Resistance, so decks that can do that probably wouldn't play it, right? Or Menace Fade, so like Watch Your Step, Quiet Mind Colony, Diplo, like I don't think those decks would use it. The other, it's often going to be Telegraph then, which does have value, because then every time that if they know you have it, they're holding back that the Vader's Lightsaber bonus. But yeah, but what you're saying, I hear you. If Prophecy's there, and maybe this is why Joe put Luke to the Ewok Village, because he doesn't want to get Bureaucrat dropped on it. Because he can decide if it's 2 or 3 as opposed to 3 or 4, which would both be susceptible to Bureaucrat. Right? Is that what probably the most value of it is?
Right. If he had drained for 3, then he was going to play into the Bureaucrat. But because he's playing Image, there's no way it's ever going to be a drain of 3.
Right.
So I wonder if Joe would have even drained for 2, or if he would have been like, show me your Enter the Bureaucrat.
Right, and then Nestle or
somewhere. The Bureaucrat works at your site. Is that right?
It only works at your opponent's site.
Right. So if Joe had gone to the other 2 sites, he would have been immune to it.
Right. Yeah, it can go either way, but the other thing is he can then, well, I mean, even if then Joe, like, Odin Nestlor's away, Justin can just then draw it because it allows you, and then you can cycle it. I don't have the bureaucrat up, but because you could put it in your use pile to draw the top 2 cards of your reserve deck, then and just cycle it. I wonder with the impetus of that card. I mean, that came out. Coruscant Combat was Reflections 3. I wonder if it was Decipher's way of kind of being like, these combat decks are going to be really powerful. Let's use them.
Yeah, I have no idea why they made those cards.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever played them until recently.
Yeah. I liked it when I was playing Yavin 4 Ops for a little bit, which is really heavy space. And ISB would have like the forest clearing or the dark forest. And they'd have to drain you for 3. It wasn't an optional thing with SSA. So you could hit it on them there. You could projection the other Endor site, and you could really shut down their damage. But when it's optional, it loses a little potency. Like Hunt Down traditional with Downtown Plaza, if they know it, they'll just keep hitting you for 2 and not add.
I think I played one. Yeah, I played one in EVO at one point because I was worried about exactly for what you were just saying for ISB.
Mm-hmm. But then ISB switched to like the Cloud City thing where it was, they wouldn't really drain for 3 ever. And they just have a bigger Wrecking Ball force where they'd come to your sites more so and more potently. So Hayes in the chat makes the comment, and I'm sure Joe and Hayes and the rest of your guys' team probably talk this through of where you want Luke at the village or not. But yeah, I see the benefit here of HITCO is permanently benefiting. You don't have any risk of Prophecy moving off there. So you're doing the add 1 generation for you, subtract 1 for the opponent. You're also not susceptible to enter the bureaucrat.
Well, it would be.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. You could decide if you want to only just drain for 2, as opposed to. No, we just talked about this. Sorry. Yeah, because if you went to the defensive perimeter, he couldn't put it on there. He can't put it on his own site, dark side. Okay, all right. So Joe loses Help Me with 1 Kenobi, Rose, which is interesting, and Rescue off the top, and then Virgins comes out. Okay. And so obviously, a possible answer that Justin could bounce Vader with Mustafar Castle, but you're losing a turn or 2 that way.
Actually, I'm not sure. Well, yeah.
Or you just
can
Dobreed him
too. We'll go back to the castle and go to the 3rd marker.
Yeah. So there's a second grabber, so that I'm sure factored into Justin's decision to grab Anakin V. Knowing he's got the second. Who deploys the Inquisitor? So she's probably the best one. Definitely the one with the most utility. The other ones are a little more specialized. Whereas Ninth Sister's good against Scrubs because she resets the Battle Destiny at 0. The Fifth Brother's more of like a hit-and-run guy because he's just deploy 4, power 7. But he's really susceptible to weapons. She actually has immunity and makes the other Inquisitors immune, and she also can start cycling cards. And she subtracts from attrition. I mean, she's like a main. She does a main. Deploy 5, forfeit 7. I don't know if you saw, Brad Kipple. I know he plays some interesting stuff. He was playing a Vader's Eye, which works with these guys. An OG card there from Premier. It's any Imperial ability greater than 2 defending. Bad Battle Destiny.
So this card can't add 1 to Force Drain.
Yeah, it can. The Dark Jedi lightsaber.
Isn't its game text?
No. You are right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Duh. So you say you haven't been playing much, but you're still way sharper than I am, and I've been playing a lot.
Yeah, I remember JCC, man.
Yeah. I was playing. I'm kind of a little embarrassed to say this, but I was testing a lot of a stunning move, which every time you deploy Equals Everywhere, it instantly cancels that game text because it allows, I think, all non-unique lightsabers bonuses to go through, even with JCC down. Yeah.
Yep, it even allows your the light side player to use their light side.
Mm-hmm.
Their light, what is it? Just Jedi lightsaber.
Jedi lightsaber V, but they would never put it in, right? Although maybe,
Unless they were playing against you.
yeah, yeah. I wonder. Maybe I have seen like a HITCO or two with like the Jedi lightsaber V on like Yoda, just to have a weapon because lightsabers are really good even if they're not. You know, obviously the drain is a big part of it, but yeah, Ryan made the comment. I'm not sure if he made that before I realized it myself, but about the me playing ASM and having it suspended. Um, all right, so 25 and 10 for Justin. Joe has 23 and 10. We got both.
Justin's actually ahead,
Mm-hmm.
just barely, right?
So yeah, he's got a drain of 2 due.
And Joe has 23, and the same number of cards in hand.
But Joe has evac.
Joe will have to do something at this point.
Yeah, he's gonna have to force a battle somewhere. Because he's not getting the retrieval with the objective. He can't, totally stack at 1 because Coward will probably come out. Like, obviously, seeing Rose in the Lost Pile, and she wouldn't be really an option. Until he can establish second battleground. So here comes EPP Array. Justin has 4/4 saved. Gotta have him. I'm sure Joe has in his mind maybe barrier, maybe you are beaten, maybe. Interesting. So he pulls Coward.
I think he just wants to battle here. Swing, hopefully hit. I think you'd want to. I would put Justin on having either a force field or a Lana, but then he would retrieve. If they both lose, Justin would flip, or Joe would flip, and he'd be able to retrieve with HITCO.
Right.
He would be able to get back.
Okay. So this is interesting. It puts the hatred card on Ray because obviously it won't have much use adding the Destiny with evac out, and he can't stack with Many Hunting You until his turn. So, and then what was the stack? Was it Emperor? Yes, he's got a 6 there.
This guy deploys as a react.
Yeah. I don't know. Joe said these guys don't do anything. So, but yeah, he might have played as a Nestler here. There's so many ways to cancel reacts. Yep, there we go. She has a lot of text, but the other 3, like they only have like 2.5 lines of text, but their stats are just crazy. I mean, he's gonna almost always be deploy 4, power 7, ability 5. So you can use a force field with him. He doesn't allow forfeit to be increased, so he's good against like No Idea. Ninth Sisters only deploy 4. They're all pilots. They're all warriors, obviously. Their Destiny's crazy because of the way this deck is set up. So we have a swing and a hit, looks like, from Joe. Yep. Against Ninth Sister. I mean, this is interesting. This says a lot with how powerful these 2 cards are, that you have 2 really, really good players playing them, using them, and them coming in handy.
I'm surprised he's not grabbed that. I feel like that's a key card to grab. Oh.
Okay.
Interesting. I'm not sure I like that.
Not grabbing Lana?
Playing the sorry about the mess there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Because he knows his opponent has an Inquisitor in hand. Who will be able to come down and battle this Ray. I feel like he would prefer to just spend 1 to retrieve 1 with Ray when he hit, and then he would flip, and then be able to retrieve a card, and that's just a good exchange for him. And I mean, if Justin has I guess he only has 11 force, so he could put down 2 things. I don't know. And especially after playing the Odin there.
Yeah. This is the thing too with playing this. He doesn't have any, or only playing 2 battleground sites is Dark Side. He's got his bridge out. He's got security precautions, but yeah, with HITCO's giving nothing, right? This is, I know, talked about when we in testing a little bit. This, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. So Prophecy's adding icons at each site, but then Twilight takes one away in generation. But yeah, I mean, obviously two really, really, really high level players here. It probably you kind of have to. They have to visualize how the rest of the game's almost going to go, right? Because you can't. They're just going to go back and forth. They have a lot of strong characters, a lot of strong mains, right? No one's going to space at any point. So yeah, this is just going to be a lot of back and forth, is what I'm guessing. But at what point do you break it open? And that brings me back to what I was initially going to say: is that mess. Will there be a more opportune moment for that mess to really break the game open a little bit?
I wouldn't be surprised if Justin plays a second Inquisitor and moves Vader in front and doesn't battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's another thing I've learned over time. A lot of times, not initiating the battles is a lot better.
Yeah, I could definitely put your opponent in a tough spot.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily find those games all that enjoyable though. Like if you play, like Watto, the way it's currently played, you almost never initiate battle.
Right.
And if you never initiate a battle, it's probably means the game went really well for you. And I think that feels like awful Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean,
somehow that annoys me more than like a deck that is designed like if you're playing a space deck and you're playing this deck with the intention of never going to the ground and never having a battle, somehow that seems more okay.
Yeah. Wow, here's another mess. So maybe that's why he played it there, knowing he had the second. So he flips him back. But yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how often I think of when Hayes mentioned it in some form about Agents of Black Sun that you don't want to battle. Because it can really backfire on you. It's almost better just to play like more the control game or avoid battle game. So now he bounces Vader over, but now he's going to be 12. Very possible Joe can drop 2 more characters here. Maybe Justin has a force push to kind of act like a safety valve. This will be a big turn because now Justin's actually up a little bit in life, but board state seems to favor, or definitely favors Joe. I don't know if you were watching this morning. I saw we were watching. I think it was with Ryan, and we were watching a Hoth. I wasn't even sure if it was a Careful Planning virtual, but it had the OG main power generators. It had a new secret base virtual. It had like 4 light side systems out. We couldn't figure out what the starting cards were. There was only one. A new secret base was on the table, but there was no Walkling. There obviously was a new secret base non-virtual. It was an interesting deck, and I thought of you because I know you've played that, and I know Taco Bill likes it too a little bit. The Hoth CPV, like fake out EVO or Hoth CPV means. But I was like, okay, maybe it's a newer player, but they had the new main power generators. Gives you 2. It lets you pull all the sites, let you pull the system, like the system that you want. So there's definitely some optimized deck building there. But all right, so Justin loses Lana Dobreed off the top. Again, so he's up a couple in hand, but it's so
that was a mistake to do that then, I think. Unless he's tracking something.
Yeah, so he put the Virgins in the use pile, draw the first 2. Oh yeah.
Because now he has a blank and then a 2 on top, which is the didn't he retrieve his Sorry combo?
Probably, because if he hit, that's the way EPP Ray works, right? If you play the Sorry, you retrieve it.
So I think it's a blank. Or what did he draw for Destiny? I didn't even draw Destiny. So it's a blank and then the Sorry combo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if he if he was going to initiate battle here, it would have been better to activate swing with blank blank and then use it, and that will get him the sorry combo back into hand.
Right.
So instead, he's gonna have a bad destiny here, and he's not gonna have like a really great utility battle interrupt for later.
Yeah.
But he also could have been tracking something. I haven't been paying that close enough attention.
Yeah, I find running a stream. I mean, I could Dan a lot of credit. I mean, there's a lot going on when you're running a stream, and obviously, like an event like this, you want to make sure that people know where the stream is, and make sure that your quality control is good. And I find it really hard to remember. Oh, was that in the lost pile now, or let alone tracking cards around? But it probably comes with more practice. All right, so he goes.
So he uses the JCC pool to verify his reserve deck. I'm wondering if he's thinking he's fine as long as he doesn't draw a 0.
Right. Here comes Elias. Nice more retrieval.
And that kind of clears that up.
Yeah.
Because now he can add 1 to attrition. I'd be very surprised if Justin does not hit, because at the 3rd marker, each weapon destiny is going to be +1.
Right.
And so Joe knows that he's going to only have 1 character left after this battle.
Here comes Ezra.
Make that 2.
Yeah. Looks like Justin shuffles his deck by cycling Accelerate.
Yeah, I wonder, was Justin tracking his destinies? Does he have an idea? I'm not sure why you would do that there.
Yeah, he must have thought that it was low, because it's not like you can activate down to it, or maybe he figures there's no way Joe grabs it in that situation, since he wants to save the force.
Has Joe used, like my father before me, this turn to put a card down?
I'm not sure. Let's see. He activated, recirculates. He activated, did the Divergence, drew a couple cards. I don't think he did. No, it does not look like that. So yeah, he could add 1 more, but maybe he likes all 7 cards in his hand.
Oh, he was tracking the other sorry that he retrieved.
Okay, that's why he did the bureaucrat. Man, so Justin
and it
having a hard
so
time.
Normally, this is exciting. Normally this Vader is immune to sorry about the mess combo, but because his game text is canceled by Padme, that's not the case.
Yeah, Padme's so strong. So it's funny, I mean, yeah, there's always some cards that keep other things in check, like, oh, this Hunt Down Virtual looks really strong, but obviously you got Padme who can just come in and blank. But obviously these seem to be the 2 decks at the top of the food chain right now.
So Joe's actually behind in Life Force, but he's got a great board state.
Yeah.
He was able to activate 2 with Ezra.
Yeah.
So there's a 2/3 chance that one of those is going to be. There's a 1 in 3 chance that the top of his deck is the other sorry combo. And so if Justin doesn't activate battle here, when Joe goes to draw at the end of this turn, he'll know he'll have a sorry, which is pretty great. I don't know if he's going to be thinking about that, but
yeah, if I'm Justin, I'm not sure what, because you can't just go to the upper chamber and start draining, because then you can't keep pace. But both these forces are going to be really hard to get through with evac control out and 3 or 4 strong characters at each site. There's obviously no space that he can go to. or would want to go to.
How many Sari combos? He's played it 3 times this game.
Yeah.
That is really hard to beat.
Yeah. I wonder if he was thinking. Well, obviously, it's such a strong card. 2 of them makes total sense in a lot of decks, but sometimes I question myself of, oh, well, imbalanced combos around is going to cancel a lot, or ceasefire, like Watto. It's tough to get messed through against like Watto, but I wonder if there's any thinking of, oh, this imbalanced combo might be a little less popular for whatever reason. I don't know, but I think one of those is a staple in so many decks.
So playing the Inquisitor flips Joe back, which is good.
Right.
Justin, he's just gonna draw here, figure out what he wants to do in the future. If he just adds Vader there and a Saber, Joe will be draining for 4, 2 and 2, and Justin would be draining for 3, unless Virgins comes out again.
Yeah. Why? Oh yeah, it gets the Saber out. Right, then they're both gradually getting worn down by Visage.
Yeah, I don't think that's what Justin's going to be trying to do ultimately. I think he has to fight through either site because he'd be down and would lose that game.
Here's Dream 2. It was Enforcement from hand. And Accelerate. And the other drain. Emperor from hand.
If I was Joe, I would pull Fanfare.
For the Ice Storm?
The Ice Storm or the not Lost in the Wilderness, the Dark Side one.
That was the other crazy about this Hoth CPV or CP deck, whatever it was. It played a non-virtual Don't Do That Again, which does not cancel Ice Storm. So Ryan and I were speculating, maybe he's got an Ice Storm that he's got in this thing. Like, it was bizarre. I was playing against ISB, and it was a very blow for blow, and it timed out, I know, and Dark won with ISB with like a Maul and Heavy Space Star Destroyers, but it was interesting.
Wait a minute, the non-virtual Don't Do That Again shield?
Yes. Does not cancel Ice Storm, yeah. Yours or theirs. So,
this deck sounds great.
Yeah. At one point I really thought that it might have been just like careful planning non-virtual, because like, why wouldn't you play a new secret base non? And he had the Hoth docking bay out and no insurrection, so we're like, is he just floating the Echo docking bay? Like, or how else did that come out? It looked like all this. Oh no, well, a new secret base virtual pulls the system, so that's how he was pulling. Right? Yeah, use 2 force to deploy system. Yeah, that's right. I know that from playing. I think Dr. Torch does that with his hidden
So
base
Joe,
deck.
I wonder if Joe knows. I think if he draws this last one, then 100% he has a Sari in hand.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was tracking the second one or not. Lost Virgins from reserve deck.
Required response. Okay, so Azure Dixon. This is interesting because I feel like Joe's in control, but the life force counts don't. Like Joe's getting kind of low, but if it starts bad on him, he's gonna.
Even if Justin played Vader
to
the Malachor and started draining for 3, Joe can just drain for
4.
He's gonna be draining for more, and he's gonna win the game. So,
right. It might be pretty close, but yeah, he definitely is on trajectory to win. Clearly. So some game state has to change here. So Jedi Lev and EPP Ray get top decked. Joe has 11 cards face down. Justin has 17. Justin has 1 more card in hand. Here comes Min for a shield. Code clearance, okay. Yeah, seeing the Jedi left top deck, he's got solo there. I don't know if there's. Or he's just looking for more guys, but you hope he would. You think he'd really want to get Vader out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he gets a force field.
Another card that'd be great for Joe would be his Odin combo.
Mm-hmm.
Because he could move the third marker stack at Malak in front of the Malakar.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat to see what Justin does with this remaining 7th force here. Okay, so 8th brother.
To say evac is not. It's been the play a card, lose 3 force this game.
Mm-hmm.
Not the strongest. Though I think it definitely changed how Justin would have played.
Right.
The early turns. I think he would have gone for Luke.
So he puts the other Inquisitor there. I mean, I guess, yeah, like an APP OB could come down and clear Min and the Inquisitor.
I think you're right. Lightside has lost more force to Sorry About the Mess than any other card this game.
Yeah, and evac. So Joe activates everything. So pay, drain, say go, basically.
Justin's got to feel relieved that this game's not going to time.
Yeah, like that last game was just nuts. And I don't know if I said it in the chat, but I had never seen a Justin Desai game. I mean, I think I told you, I'm not sure if we were on stream yet, but that timer situation was just weird. He's usually always like 5-10 minutes in front of the other person, if not more. And that they were pretty even most of the time. And then late, but
for those of
that would have broke my brain.
For those of you who missed it, Justin's playing against Yoshi.
Mm-hmm.
And the game ended with Justin with like 3 minutes left on his timer, and Yoshi had like 4.
Yeah. There was a huge space Doom stack for both sides, and a huge Crown Doom stack. And then you just had Luke chilling on Octo, and you had Qui-Gon chilling at Republica. And they were both kind of staring at each other of who's going to initiate the battle first, in the ground or space. So here comes 2 more, 1 from hand, force push from hand, you are beaten from reserve deck. And here's BB-8. Okay, so this is some of the good resistance package. We saw Rose, we now see BB-8. So Chewie, Solo, Leia, 2 Rays. Yeah, these resistance characters are so good.
The only thing that Joe could really that I'd be afraid about was Joe. Is Vader and Saber coming down to Endor and then playing You Are Beaten on Luke.
Yeah. Right. And then force he no escape to get the force field back. So you could force field Chewie, cancel Hera's text, not that it would kick it would kick in against Vader. So Enforcer, cancel Hera, he could take them out. Yeah, that would be interesting.
I don't think he's going to be playing to You Are Beaten, though.
Mm-hmm.
But going for that site, maybe he has an eye heavy now, but I imagine Joe as a Hear Me Baby that he's holding just for that.
Mm-hmm.
So he just retrieved Anakin, and he still has Walkling to retrieve. Mm-hmm. So late side playing a 62 card deck was always good.
Yeah, that's the once per game retrieve Anakin into hand. Yep. Puts a card back.
Puts a card back. Yeah. Like my father to show Clash.
Ezra kicks in.
I wonder if Justin found his Lana, and his plan is to play Vader and then Lana over.
Right. To Endor, right? Or the third mark. The third mark is probably a little harder to get through, but it has BB-8. Padme's there. It has to be Endor, right?
Really doesn't want to lose the card from hand, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. So here's Walkland.
But because he paid to drain, I don't think the Lana plays on the table. Unless he's tracked to.
Here's Vader. Grab the saber. Yeah, Joe having those two sort of at the mess early were big. Clearly. Okay, got Kier.
Kier's a little strange. So he knows he has a force field in hand.
Mm-hmm. Might have a sniper. Like, I guess maybe if Justin could.
Yeah, sniper is a problem.
If he could,
I think he'll want to play Sari to kill Kier.
Yeah. I mean, that might be Justin's only path here. If he goes for broke and tries to hit Luke and sniper him, but like I think someone said in the chat, he's got to have blaster deflection, right?
No, he blaster deflection's been placed out of play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I really doubt that he plays two. Yeah. Jedi concentration would be fantastic.
Right.
Right. I think the best case line for Joe would be playing Sorry About the Mess, killing Kier, and then using Jedi concentration on the battle.
Mm-hmm.
That way, Joe would only lose one character. Yeah. Vader would be gone.
Yeah, I found out there's a you probably know this, the dark side Jedi concentration lightsaber parry. It's one less destiny.
Use that.
But I was doing some testing with my silliest stunning move deck and against a HITCO where they had EPP Obi, EPP Ray, and Luke with the saber, and I was like, man, I would kill for a way to stop all lightsabers in this battle. And then realized that card exists. But I mean, how often? I guess against HITCO, it can happen pretty often where your opponent has 2 to your 1 lightsaber or 3 to your 2. Because often you want to get your lightsaber through as well. But force field virtual is probably better in most situations, except when they have 3 sabers. So Joe activates, looks like all but 1. Now it's still activate phase.
Yeah, I was playing lightsaber parry in map at Endor.
Okay. Like Kylo and Mara.
Yeah. I thought it was more important to shut off the lightsabers on occasion. Mm-hmm. It's only Destiny 4, though, which is disappointing.
Yeah. It's funny how a lot of stuff like that happens. I wonder if it's just, hey, dark side goes first, so little things like that, like the light side cards, seems to be a little bit better a lot of times. Alright, so the BB-8 ping comes through. Joe's up 5 if you add up Life Force and Hand.
Yeah, I wonder why he decided. Does he know what this card is?
Has to. Or was this the force he used for Walkling? Or for Secret
Plans? This would be the force he used for Walkling.
Yeah. Okay. Nestler.
I think Joe may have missed up there. I don't know if he knew that Odin was there, unless he like put it back like my father, and that would just be insane.
Yeah. I think he probably did, because didn't he, like, my father at the end of that one turn, and then he walk laned, I think, like, during Justin's control phase, I feel like. It was right after he top decked a Luke or two. You don't get these turns.
Well, he top decked to pay, then he plays walk on how to play to retrieve one,
Yeah.
so it would have been blank and then 6. And then the force that he used, he had activated one with Ezra, so he had 2 in his force pile at the end of his turn, then activated one with Ezra. And I think unless he was tracking the 4, so it would have been. I don't know if he knew that was there. I think he got lucky.
Yeah. Okay, so here comes New Yoda.
New Yoda's good.
Yeah, I like him. He's he's one of the reasons I've been messing around with a lot of like different Jedi Presence decks with him and with HITCO, with Prophet, with. There was one other one I was kind of toying around with a little bit. So it comes like my father, it circulates. He's up 3.
I wonder if he actually could have gotten away with a battle there.
Yeah, just overpower him. I mean, unless even if Justin had like a Vader's Anger or some like an Out of Battle Destiny. I would think Justin probably has a. No. I would think he has a Gek in that 4-card hand, but not sure. Gift to the Mentor comes off the top. Nestler combo. So now they're exactly even. 8 force down each. 4 force in hand each. Darkseid just finished their control phase, or about to.
Does Justin will lose a force to the turn, right?
Yeah. Message. Yep. And then another 3.
And then he's going to take 3 on it.
Yeah.
Joe will battle, and you'll use evac control.
Yeah, they're pretty good most of this game, or this entire game until then. Cause I saw in the chat that people were saying that when the game first started, there was some lag to it, but then it calmed down. And that seemed to be the situation here.
Our stream is blank, it looks like.
Yeah, I just hit refresh. It should come back, yeah. So yeah, I was talking with Ryan, I think, earlier about, what's your guess on how long these pods are going to take, and it looks like the first one, which I would think would be the fastest, honestly, since 4 a.m. Eastern Time, you should have less other traffic, and then less overlap with the other. I guess tomorrow's pod will have a 6-hour differential too, but it looks like it's coming in right around 11 hours. So this 10 a.m. I would guess might go as late as 9, actually.
Today, yeah. That's a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah. So Joe's activate phase, I guess activates 3.
Yeah, I think his plan here, I mean, URB would be a bad card, but I think the plan is to drain, initiate battle for free, swing, he'll play force field, he can grab it, causing a force loss. Desai will swing back, presumably at Luke, with the saber to cause a force loss without your father. And then I would use evac just to get the card back.
Right.
Desai is showing a Gik in hand. And then Joe will have enough to drain him out. He just recirculated. Come on, Joe. I teed that up right up for you.
He's definitely not. He doesn't want to. Yeah, he's staying on the trajectory and making Justin change things. Now Joe's up 3. What's another? Stage 2. If I was Joe, I definitely would respect limited resources here. Because that would be one of the very few outs. That might be one of the few outs that Justin has. In a very, very close game.
Two BB is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen that in a HITCO.
Yeah. It's just HITCO and Legend merged together. Sniper. Okay. So if for nothing else, it gets a ping. So it does it the second blaster deflection. Alright. Well, he still causes the force loss effectively. Life force loss with Min, but he's there.
So hopefully Joe initiates a battle next turn.
Yeah. I think every turn that it goes on, it favors Justin. Although I mean, this has got to be like 90-95% chance of likelihood. Even though it's really close, but just the board state seems. It's got BB doing free damage. Which could, honestly, could play in once if they're both under 3 at some point. They can't drain or they can't afford to do anything else. It's interesting how these two effects are like the same exact image. I am your father, and there are many hunting you. So still Justin's deploy phase. I wonder what that one card is. Probably Gick.
I wonder what. Is he contemplating initiating battle and kicking?
Mm-hmm. I'm just hitting someone for the ping.
I don't really know what else he could be doing here. I guess he could move away.
Mm-hmm. To the castle. No, that calls a force, right?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Thinking.
What the heck these cards do?
Turns to hand. Eighth brother. And he's gonna take the ping. Well, better than Grievous. Grievous, you gotta lose a force for it. I'll allow Hojix. Yeah. The way that Dan pronounces it in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think he's going to battle, and he's going to swing, and he'll play force field. And you'll grab it. And that should be game.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he hasn't lost the force field.
Right, he doesn't have a way to exchange it at any point. Put it down. So the BB ping.
And then he'll stack to I feel the conflict, so he won't even be able to pay to drain.
Right. And yeah, he's looking at how much overflow here, so I think this battle phase will be the end of the game. He never burned his solo, not that I'm sure what he'd need it for, though. I don't think he burned it. So again, so this is game 3, Worlds. We're at day 1, which will span 2 days, actually, this weekend.
You didn't battle, Joe?
He stood in battle?
Why didn't he battle?
This is like classic. This has to be overthinking. What else? Maybe it's almost like gamesmanship and kind of dragging it out a little bit more to add a little more stress to the day. Who knows? Trying for 2. Lose 2. Could you imagine if we had limited resources? No, but that's a force field, right? We're pretty sure. Yeah, okay. Alright, so Justin concedes. Really tight game. Good game of both players. Joe will move to 3-0. Justin will be 2-1.